Welcome back to Brands Hatch, where the second round of the Formula 4 Championship took place yesterday. It was Jonathan Weston-Taylor that took the win from Robbie Watts, but under controversial circumstances, with Robbie Watts claiming that Weston-Taylor passed him under the yellow flag.
Cars lining up then for round 3 of the championship. The top 8 from yesterday's result reversed. So Johnny Weston-Taylor lines up alongside Robbie Watts on row 4. On pole position, it's the ex-Formula V champion Danny Hans having his first race in his new Formula Renault car, the Tarsius RC98. Alongside him on the front row in the Dallara is Chris Kite. Row 2 has Bryn Dutel and Andrew Minette. The red lights go on, and a bit of a longer hold for this race. They go out now then. Not a great start by Chris Kite, not a great start either there by Robbie Watts from the 4th row of the grid. Johnny Weston-Taylor, by contrast, makes up 1, 2, maybe 3 places, just the 1 I think, as they go into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. But it looks like it is the orange car out from the Tarsius of Danny Hans. He's always raced pretty much in those colours. He's leading the way then. Out of the first corner they go. It looks like Andrew Minette has made it up to 2nd position, Chris Kite 3rd, and Johnny Weston-Taylor, last year's champion, has made it up to 4th position.
And he almost had 3rd there at Graham Hill Bend, but there's 3 abreast behind him, but there's 2 abreast for the lead, and through goes Andrew Minette to take the lead away from Danny Hans as they come up towards Clearway. So it is Minette that leads. There is the orange car of Danny Hans in 2nd, with Johnny Weston-Taylor in 3rd place. He's coming under a bit of pressure actually from Chris Kite as they head over the start-finish straight. Is Kite, he's pulling to the outside here. Does he fancy a look to the outside? He don't think he's quite close enough, as we've got side-by-side further back. That's Robbie Watts having a look to try and get past Bryn Dutel, but it's not quite going to work as Lee Cunningham runs very close to dipping a few wheels in the gravel, and through goes Johnny Weston-Taylor up into 2nd place. So from 8th to 2nd in a lap and a quarter.
And Robbie Watts really hasn't made that same kind of progress. You can see him there at the back of this group, still in 7th, gunning for 6th place now. Along the Cooper Straight they go then. There's Kite in that pale green car just ahead of number 6, Malcolm Scott. And he was in 4th position yesterday behind Lee Cunningham, who was 3rd. There's Watts still trying to find a way past Bryn Dutel. Going to the outside line this time as they go through Clark Curve. But the leaders together now. Johnny Weston-Taylor's trying to look on the inside, and he's through at Paddock Hill Bend to take the lead away from the Cumbrian Andrew Minette. Johnny Weston-Taylor grabs the lead.
Has Minette got anything in response though? Weston-Taylor goes a little bit defensive into Druids, but Minette isn't close enough there. Will he get momentum down into Graham Hill Bend? No, it looks like Weston-Taylor has pulled out a couple of car lengths. So as they sweep through the downhill left-hander, it's Weston-Taylor in the lead, followed by Minette. Still doing well to hang on to 3rd place is Danny Hans, but he could be coming under pressure from Chris Kite pretty soon as the Class C cars make their way through. There goes Jenny Scott. She got a bit of a poor start off the line, but the leaders now coming across the start line. And well, these two have made a real break for it, but all is kicking off behind them. Chris Kite looks to the outside and then checks back to the inside. Sold Danny Hans a bit of a dummy there, and Danny Hans might lose another position there to Malcolm Scott, and indeed he does. And Lee Cunningham coming through, and Bryn Dutel coming through, and Robbie Watts is trying to get through as well. So a bit of a disastrous corner there for Danny Hans.
Robbie Watts there got a lap record yesterday. He'll do well to get it from this position with all of this traffic to find his way through, and he's still not quite been able to do it. Robbie Watts, who was very much one of the pace setters of last season, certainly behind Chris Holmes, who won many of the rounds but didn't do a full season. There's Lee Cunningham then in that 69 car, one of the older Van Diemen's, the RF98. The orange car, the ex-Formula Renault car of Danny Hans. Here's Chris Kite then, he's in a Dallara. That's an old Formula 3 machine from about 15 years ago. Runs in Class A of the Championship, but he's going to lose out here to Malcolm Scott. He goes up to 3rd now. He's in one of the Van Diemen Formula 4 ZTEC conversions. And here's Jenny Scott, his daughter, trying to take a place away from John Whitbourne. He is the Formula 4 ZTEC class leader.
She makes it stick, heading up to Druids, and she starts to pull away, but we've got side by side here. Here's Robbie Watts and Bryn Dutel coming side by side through McLaren and now down through Surtees, and Robbie Watts can't find a way through. Things just aren't falling right for Robbie Watts today on the racetrack. It's just not working out how he would have wanted, but he's got a good slipstream here from Bryn, and he's going to have a look to the outside heading down into Paddock Hill Bend. He's not quite alongside, but he's managed to break a lot later there. Good move from Robbie Watts to make up that position, but as Jennifer Scott comes across the line, there's battles going on further back. There's Ollie Cyril in the yellow machine and making a move out there as they head down into Paddock Hill Bend. Well, there going through is Matt Hayes, but a move made up behind him as they sweep up towards Druids.
Up the hill they go then. There is Hayes in the 26 car, another of the Class C cars. Owen Smeech there as well. He's a bit further down the order than he would normally like to be. He's doing battle with one of the other Class A cars there. You can see it's the 41 car of Simon Emerson, one of the Megars. Here though comes Andrew Manette, I think this is. He's still there in second position, but not for much longer. Malcolm Scott really on a charge this weekend. He goes through to P2 now. And Scott having a pretty good start to the season then. Podium finish at Sletton, a top 4 finish at Brands Hatch yesterday. Looking to get onto the podium again. Well, he is now. He's up into second position, ahead of Minette, ahead of Chris Kite. And here is the Class C leader again. It's John Whitbourne, whose father Ted, a great Formula Ford 1600 star around here at Brands Hatch in the Champion of Brands days. He's chasing down the Class A car, a recent conversion to that spec of Ollie Cyril.
Sweeping their way through Druids and out towards Graham Hill. Is he going to be close enough for a move into Graham Hill? It looks as though Ollie Cyril isn't quite close enough as we come over the start finish line once more. Here comes Robbie Watts then, trying to get past Lee Cunningham around the outside. Is he gonna, yes, or is he? Not entirely sure. Yes, he's managed to hold it. Another move around the outside to take 4th place there. So Robbie Watts is slowly making his way up through the order, but nothing like the sort of hot knife through butter progress of our leader Jonathan Weston Taylor as they head down into Graham Hill.
Yes, Jonathan Weston Taylor a lot further around the lap. In fact, here he is. This is the final corner of the race from. He's dominated this. Didn't take him long to get through the field from 8th, and he wins round 3 of the 750 Motor Club Formula 4 Championship at Brands Hatch. Some of the slower cars just making their way through, including Ollie Cyril, but second goes to Malcolm Scott. Paul Presgrave, you can see, last year's Class C champion, just going through shot. We've already had Chris Kite in 3rd place. There he is. Robbie Watts in 4th, and Lee Cunningham completing the top 5.
Here's a look at the results then. It was a comprehensive victory for Jonathan Weston Taylor, 10 seconds clear of Malcolm Scott in second. Robbie Watts only able to climb up into 4th place. Poleman Daniel hands down in 7th. Further down the order, there we see the Class C winner of John Whitbourne, finishing 11th overall. And it was no surprise that Johnny Weston Taylor got the fastest lap.
Jonathan Weston Taylor, winner for the 2nd time this weekend. Perhaps a bit less controversial, that one.
Yes, yeah. Yesterday there was a possible mix-up of a yellow flag incident, but today I think I certainly I feel that I proved one or two critics whether the number 1 should have been on the car last year, and I think that says it all. I'm really pleased with that race, and I knew if I got through the traffic before Rob, I knew I would be able to do it, and I just lapped. I just got in there and put the laps in. I was pretending that I was testing, and I was just lapping, and it was fantastic. And I'd just like to thank my team, Howard. I'm going to cry again on the telly. I did that last year. No, I'm not. I'd love to thank my dad and my mum, my wife, my new little baby, and thanks everything.